Okay.
Yeah.
If we are all ready, I will proceed with a very brief recap. In the last session, you players, after doing your investigation on the college grounds, ended up heading outside. First thing you did was ascend the staircase and investigate the study that belonged to Simeon Carlyle, one of the founders of the Mage College. You didn't find anything hugely revelatory other than some schematics of paraforms with a bunch of warnings on it, basically saying this is a bad idea, don't do it. You found something cryptic about maybe how he lost someone and that this weird paraform project just wasn't a good replacement for whoever he lost. There's just a bunch of things that very obviously you guys wisely didn't touch anything up in there because it's very, very cursed. The most notable object in the room was the giant pink scrying stone, which, everybody mostly just got bad vibes from, understandably so. The Peacekeeper was up there with you. You found out from Professor Spindle that the door itself had been uncursed already by Zana, so that way you guys were able to gain entry. You guys then went back outside of the college, back onto the street, where there was a military parade going on to honor General Thracius Tau, aka the Butcher, who the Montrace arc characters all know. And during this procession, you guys, I believe it was Evren who clocked it, that the pendant or the medallion that the general's daughter was wearing on the parade float is the same exact, like, crudely hewn medallion that you guys fetched out of the Valley of Bones. Looks exactly the same. After the main procession left, you guys all headed out into the crowd. The Peacekeeper, the Recollector, he went off to get food. You guys went to see whether or not Chorn Sureforge was in attendance that day and had his weapon sharpening stuff, because Marko's trying to get his armor fitted on the government's dime. And he wasn't at the parade, so you guys went ahead and went to his actual shop. Upon entering, you guys stepped inside and were immediately assailed by a bunch of armor that was animated by some sort of strange, erratic magic. And you guys fought your way through all these different armor suits using cool strategy and high rolls. You guys killed it. You guys took some damage because a couple times they hit, and they hit hard, but you guys were the ones left standing at the end of it. And at the end of last session, you guys noticed that Chorn was still alive, still breathing, and that was where we left off. So we pick up with all of you inside of Chorn Sureforge's very fiery, hot workshop, where he is on the ground breathing, but seemingly unconscious.
Can I go and lay on hands?
Oh, absolutely. Sure.
To, like, maybe help him
way.
get up?
Okay. Yeah.
Make way for Melina.
That's a good plan. Okay, so you just...
I'll do, like, 5.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
that also, like, if there's any, like, poison or disease or anything, it'll help with that as well.
Okay.
Any alcohol, it'll sober him up. So I'll just do that.
All right, well done. So, what all is there a somatic component to that at all, or do you just tap them and they're rezzed?
I think I just have to touch them.
Okay.
Let
cool.
me see really quick. Yeah, it says you can touch a creature and restore a number of HP.
Okay, cool. You go over to this bearded dwarf who's down on the ground over by his forge, and you touch him on the shoulder, and you can feel the healing energy sort of resonate within you, and you see that there's like a small cut on Chorn's brow that immediately like heals back over. There's still like some faint scarring, but it stops actively bleeding. And he coughs a couple times and then opens his eyes, and he sees you first, Melina. And he is a little bit shocked, taken aback, and he sort of turns around and like scoots backwards on his hands and is sort of looking around in a frenzied manner, because also standing in front of him is also the gigantic form of Marko, right by the forge, which would be a very intimidating sight. So
Oh my
Chorn
gosh!
sees...
No, no, no! Don't be afraid! We just saved you! Are you good? Are you okay?
Chorn's eyes are sort of just darting around frantically, looking around, and one by one, he sort of... You can see Evren for all the suits of armor that you knocked down with your spells. All the ones that weren't alive, but could have theoretically been a threat that you just completely exploded. You can see him sort of one at a time scanning the room, clearly looking for more suits of armor. But after not seeing them anymore, now his expression turns to more of a quizzical expression, and Chorn says, "What in the gods' names did you do?"
We saved you.
What? Oh, my head hurts something fierce.
We just found you here unconscious.
And there was armor walking around.
Yeah, your armor kind of attacked us, so we took care of it. Kind of took care of it.
Actually, pretty tough. Your craftsmanship is quite remarkable.
Marko.
Though in this case, that might have not been the greatest thing.
Chorn says, "So there was nobody inside the armor?"
No.
Not that I know of.
Chorn stands up on his feet and sort of dusts himself off and sort of just surveys his workshop. And he says, "My, this is going to be an awful lot of cleaning up to do." One minute, I was here by the fire.
Least of your worries.
1 minute, I was right here by the fire, working at this anvil, had my back to the room, and then next thing you know, lights out.
Just like that?
Just like that. What day is
Shocking.
it? Oh, did the parade happen?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Yeah, you could maybe catch the tail end of it, but...
I must have been out for several hours. This is awfully strange. I know some workmen weave some magical nonsense into their work, but I don't. I don't understand what happened.
Anybody that could do this to you? Anybody you know of that maybe has it out for you? Or maybe any shifty characters from recent?
He looks you up and down, and he says, I don't know, does you being a stranger make you shady? I do work for everybody.
Besides
I don't judge.
Us.
Oh.
We're
Well,
here to help you.
my name's Jorn, and, this is my forge, and apparently sometimes the armor that I make wakes up.
Huh. And you haven't questioned this before?
Well, this morning that was the first time. I'm just giving fair warning that I don't know if it'll happen again. I don't know what caused this. He walks around and one at a time, again, sort of surveying the room again and seeing the magical damage that's been caused. Thinking also, like, specifically of some of the stuff that that you did, Burroughs, with your electricity. And Chorn looks around and says, "Did lightning strike in here?"
Kinda.
I may have been a bit overzealous in my methods.
Oh, no, that's fine. You definitely did a number on them. They are well and truly dispatched. And I must say I'm very impressed with how well my armor held up, given the throttling you all gave it.
There's no problem.
He walks around again, And then in sort of like one at a time, like going up to each of you, he would have like given you your hands a shake and sort of thanked you in gratitude. And he says, well, now I feel like I ought to do something for you. I feel bad that this happened. You guys risking your lives for me and all, and I can't really repay you with coin.
I mean, there is one thing.
Look over at Marko.
What?
What's that?
Don't you
Can
need
you-
something tailored?
Something fixed so you can fit in it?
Yeah, well, there was this armor that was forged for me. Doesn't quite fit right, but maybe you could fix it.
At that, his ears perk up, and he runs over to you, and he says, "Heft that bag down off your shoulder. Let me see what you got."
All right.
He opens up the bag, and he starts peering around in it, and he looks up at you with the only way you can describe it is it looks like almost a pitying look. And he says, "Oh my, standard issue armor they gave you?"
Trust me, it was better than what I had before.
And he looks at you, and then he gets kind of a wry smile on his face. And he says, "I think we can do a little better than that." And one at a time, he starts running around the room where all the suits of armor that you obliterated, Evren, and each of the suits of armor is distinct from each other. And he's sort of taking bits and pieces of each one, a pauldron from here, a set of greaves from over here, and he's just sort of plucking all this armor together. And he comes back over to the forge, and he looks at you, Marko, and he says, "Well, I got some good news for you. You are now #1 priority in terms of my customers, all right? Now, what I'm gonna need to get your measurements. So let me get my step ladder and hold on. Just wait right there."
Oh,
And-
all right. You're too kind.
He heads off into a corner, and let me see. He starts rummaging around in this back corner. Why don't each of you make a perception check?
Okay, one moment. Where's my cursor? There's my cursor.
That's a 16.
You said a
Ooh.
perception?
Yep.
I rolled a 16 on D&D Beyond and switched over to roll 20, and it became a 9.
We'll take the 16.
What am I doing?
Okay, that's much better.
14.
14, okay.
D&D Beyond is having a moment. That's
Ah.
what's having a moment.
Evren got 24.
Dang. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So while Tjorn is messing around in this corner, you can see that there's like a little table with like a candle and like a bowl and a tankard, and there's just like assorted stuff on the table. And he is sort of like rifling through some of his personal belongings looking for something, and he's sort of just absent-mindedly chucking stuff out of the way because it's like covering whatever he's trying to find. And he tosses something sort of absent-mindedly behind him that hits the floor and skips just a couple times. And it's just sort of shining brilliantly in the light of his forge. And Evren, you would see this first. Because of, you know what, makes sense, because of your stature. You're closer to where he is in height. And the glint of light coming off of this thing as it flies through midair and it hits the ground. Not too far from him. He's not being reckless with it, but he is trying to just get it out of his way while he's trying to find something. And he pulls out like almost like a tailor's tape to get some measurements from like his rucksack or something in the corner. And you saw this shiny little metal thing hit the ground and skip a couple times, and it's still just sort of shining brilliantly in the firelight.
She's gonna go check it out.
Okay, absolutely.
See what it is.
As you approach, let's see. You see that there is a small, triangular, silvery pendant, and there are 3 red gems set in each of the 3 corners, and there's actually like a void in the middle of the pendant, and there is a 4th and final gem that is being suspended in the middle by these like spokes So it's very intentionally, there's like an empty space, and the jewel is set being suspended there in the middle. And there's just a lot of runic carvings around the outer edges. Very fine, detailed work.
I think if she can pick it up and look at it, she will. And she'll be like, is this worth adding to Marko's armor? And just kind of holds it up to show everyone.
As he's walking past to get over to Marko with his tailor's tape, he looks at that and says, "Oh, that? It's a little bit too pretty for my taste, but I probably was gonna see if I could sell it to someone in the city who might take an interest in it. I found it by happy chance not long ago."
What is it?
Do you know what it is?
"I don't know. Fine craftsmanship, though. I found it, let's see, would have been about a week or so back. I was emptying out the ashes from one of my furnaces into the courtyard out back, and I was shoveling some ashes around, and there it was, just inside of an ash pile back there." Why don't, let's see, Evren, you're touching this. Go ahead, roll me Arcana.
Okay. Oh, that could have been good. 12.
Okay, with a 12, I will say that even with a 12, you are versed enough in magic to know that this pendant, there's some aura around it that you can't discern good, bad, blessing, curse. You can't discern any of that, but you can tell by the tingling in your fingers that there is something mildly magical about this pendant.
So, I don't know what's magical about it, but this is definitely magical. I can feel it. It's tingling my fingers. And she just kind of like turns it in her hand. Like, yeah. I don't know, Melina, if you can detect what kind of magic it has on it, but...
I'm checking my features. One moment.
Or maybe anything divine about it?
Yeah, one moment. Well, I mean, I don't have any spells, and my divine sense only senses if there's like beings, so I don't have anything now.
Mm-hmm.
Chorn looks at you, Evren, and says, "Magic, huh? Well, I didn't know that. I mean, I thought it was just pretty to look at. Figured somebody would want it. Thought about melting it down, but didn't want to do that."
Well, I think it's definitely valuable, whatever kind of magic it has on it. Magical items, in my experience, usually have a pretty penny on them, depending on what they can do.
Do you think anything would come of inlaying this within the armor?
He looks at it for a second and says, "I don't pretend to know much about nothing, but I don't know if I would willy-nilly just put something like this in my armor until you're sure what it is you've got there."
I would have to agree.
And is there any way to identify it?
"Oh, there's loads of smart folk at the school you could ask."
We'll be headed that way anyway.
That's true.
"Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you do this? Why don't you guys take it to the college for me? If it's good, I trust you to bring it back. If it's bad, I never want to see it again."
All right. Fair enough.
We can do that, yeah.
He points over at you, Burroughs, and said, "You there, I'm gonna need your help with this measuring tape."
Why me?
"'Cause, like me, you're close to the ground. I'm gonna get on this ladder and measure up, okay?" He hands you the bottom of the tape, and then, like, places it on the ground, and he just says, "Just put your little foot right on top of that measuring tape there." And then he clambers up the ladder to get how tall Marko is. And then he flips it around, does the shoulders, and he is just straining. And, like, eventually he, like, looks over to you, Melina, and Evren says, "Little help?"
Okay, what do you need?
I'm afraid this is going to be a group effort to get these measurements.
All right.
Okay.
And go
Between
help 'em
all of
however
you.
we can.
Working around the clock, you manage to get all of Marko's dimensions, and he's just furiously scribbling them down in his book. And then, after he gets the measurements, he runs over to one of the few dummies that's left in the building that hasn't been destroyed. And this one's one of those crazy, like, adjustable ones where you turn cranks and stuff on the back, and it changes the shoulder separation and everything, and the torso height. And he starts cranking those things to the max. And he's like, "I might still have to upscale this from this. I'm not used to making armor for somebody your size." And then he keeps turning the crank a little bit. He says, "You'll be the first Goliath I've ever made armor for."
This is quite the occasion for both of us, then.
He starts scribbling some final notes, and he says, "I'll tell you what, you guys help me out, so I'm gonna have this ready for you by tomorrow morning, okay?"
Sounds good.
Last thing, you got any accolades or something? Anything you want personalized on the armor somewhere?
If you could do me a quick DM in IRL history check, what was the title that Marko was given?
Ah, good question. Let me pull that up. I actually put it inside of the Google Doc because I knew I was going to forget about it. I believe it was Protector of Sacred Ground.
That was it. That sounds very right.
But you've got plenty of options. Like, you can go with that. Anything from Montrace you want. This is quite literally whatever you want to think of. Like, whatever. What's Marko's proudest achievement so far that he would want etched into this armor?
Protector of Sacred Grounds is definitely what he would want etched into his armor, like across the collar.
Okay, I like it. I like it. He writes that down, and he says, "And what language will you be wanting that in?"
I just look like I'm expecting one of the others to answer for me.
I just shrug at him.
Common? Maybe?
Let's go with common.
All right, I can do that. Easy enough, easy enough.
I don't want to make it difficult for anyone.
He writes all that down, and he says, "I tell you what, I'm not gonna reassemble any of those armor pieces for the meantime, just until I know what happened, but I just want to thank you all again for coming to my rescue."
Of course.
Right place, right time situation, I feel like, but I'm glad we could help.
He heads back over to his anvil, and he ties a little apron around himself, and he starts to work right away, taking the custom pieces that he grabbed and then retrofitting the more standard military ones that they gave him, and sort of doubling everything up, because Marko was given 2 sets of normal-sized armor to work with, so he's got to sort of string lots of pieces together and start welding to make them bigger. And as your party, if your party starts heading out, I won't speak for you yet, but if your party starts heading back out, you would, as you're walking out, you're just hearing the repetitious clang of Tjorn working at the forge with his big hammer.
Well, if we have nothing else to do, I would probably walk out.
Okay.
How's the parade looking now after being
Good
busy with that
question.
for some time?
Okay, wait, housekeeping. Who's got hold of the pendant right now?
Everett?
Probably
Is it
Evren, right?
or me?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Evren, yeah.
Okay,
I'll
yeah, that's
have
fine.
it, yeah.
That's just point of order. Okay. As you exit the building, the whole time I had art of Tjorn that I forgot to put up. That's Tjorn with his hammer. And then I'll take you guys back out to Evren proper. Back out onto the street, things have quieted down quite a bit. The sounds of the parade have diminished almost entirely. There's still a lot of motion in the streets, but it's mostly people returning from the parade and going back home, or shopkeepers going back to their shop and opening back up before the end of the day. But as you guys leave the smithies, which is down here, as you're walking like the main streets to get back towards like sort of the main drag where the park is, there's a lot of people out and about in the park, but it seems like the main thrust of the parade is over and people are just sort of milling around now.
Okay.
That might be for the best. Hope we didn't miss anything. No schemes or anything.
Well, I mean, there's always schemes. Everybody's scheming a little bit.
Well, if that's the case, at least we were busy helping someone.
That's true.
So where would your party like to go?
I feel a bit uneasy without checking in on the Peacekeeper
Yeah, I would agree.
after such an event.
Okay, so you guys are wanting to head
The
to
Peacekeeper.
the
I don't
construction
know
site
where that
then?
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so you guys are headed back towards the Mage College and the Unfinished Wing. Okay, cool. So your party starts making their way through the town and back towards the direction of the Mage College again. You can see very clearly where the parade has gone through. There's confetti and flower petals littering the streets. You can very clearly tell what route they took. They would have gone into like the main drag, through the gardens with the fountains in front of the Temple of the Holy Unification, past the Blind Man's Bailey, and then out and beyond eventually. And you guys sort of backtrace that back the direction that you guys saw the parade from earlier. And again, in order to get into the construction site, you got to go through the Mage College to the Unfinished Wing. And when you walk inside of the sort of main lobby area you guys have been in multiple times now, Burroughs, you hear a voice over your shoulder as you walk in, and you can see that Masman Highmore, the headmaster, is quickly approaching your group with like genuine concern on his face. And he looks at you when he says this, but he's kind of just saying it out loud. He's not whispering it, but he says, "What news of the investigation? Has there been any breakthroughs since your investigation of the school grounds?"
Not particularly yet. We're still trying to figure out small details. We may have a lead, but as for right now, it's up in the air.
This is very important. Did you find anything that would help quell some of the suspicion and frightened nature of everyone? With the event going on tomorrow, there's a lot of tension.
We haven't, out of character, we haven't found anything outside like the scrap and like rumors of people like loitering around, right? We still haven't. So yeah, we
And we were busy saving the blacksmith.
I would say that the scrap of paper, the little note, and the one earring are the two things that you guys have found since you talked to him prior to your investigation.
I'll tell him about those two things then.
Okay. Do you show him the scrap of paper? Or do you just relay what it says, or what it said?
I'll tell him what it said, yeah.
Okay. Again, so that was change target, we've been made. And that was found inside of a pocket that had been ripped off of someone's garment as they were leaving the construction site. And when you mention about the scrap, like that's all we found in the construction site, Masman's eyes go wide, and he then looks to your entire party, and he says, "Come with me to my office immediately." and he speed walks past into the lobby and goes into his private, like, room, and he ushers all of you guys in quickly, like, gesticulating with his hands to get all you guys in there. And once you guys are in, he hurriedly locks the door behind you, and he zips around to the other side of his desk, and he leans forward, and he looks at all of you, and he says, "The timing of this situation could not be worse. Tomorrow is the fundraiser for the new wing of the college. Don't you understand? Every high-ranking, notable, would-be alchemist will be present at that party."
Sounds like our attendance is mandatory then.
I'm afraid it must be. Every single potential target will be in one room at the same time.
They wouldn't just do that though, right?
I
It
don't
seems
know.
Too easy.
I'm not sure. All I know is every single person who has ever entertained thoughts about using alchemy or was an alchemist in a past life will be in attendance at the fundraiser tomorrow. And they all have ties to the college.
Well, then this is it then.
Would be a great place for an ambush if they really wanted to. So,
I'm going to speak with my secretary about ensuring that all of you have invitations to the party.
Okay.
Definitely don't be as shy about the security detail.
We already have some of Evren's finest watching the construction site that you all mentioned. Security's going to be top-notch, but the Peacekeeper, Soph, she speaks very highly of you. So, I want the best.
I mean,
We'll be
you
there.
got it. So, yeah.
A knock sounds at the door, and Masman sort of ushers to silence you, like, don't talk about this right now, runs to the door, and he cracks it open a little bit. And even though you can't see her, Burroughs, you would recognize the voice of your family friend Leolda Fenric, the why can't I remember the the tiefling, professor, and they start talking through the door, and I want all of you to roll. I want all of you to roll perception.
Okay.
Okay. Hopefully, I roll.
Burroughs, I want you to roll perception with advantage.
What the heck just happened?
I don't
what's
know
going on?
what just happened.
4 dice just rolled.
Yeah, 4 dice just hit.
I
What
think
is
we all
going
tried to
on?
roll at once, and then it all just showed up on the screen.
I rolled
Well, I got a
dirty
nat
20.
20.
Dang!
Where do I see what happened? I don't know what I rolled.
I have a like extension, like a browser extension that carries it over to roll 20. That's how I saw it. But then again, it was wrong last time, so I don't know what I got.
Okay, let me try it again, I guess. Hold on. With advantage, okay. Oh, okay. Got a 18.
Got
Okay.
25.
So, oh my
Dirty
gosh.
20.
Everyone's perceptive today.
All right. Everyone hears this, clear as day, clear as a bell. I'm just going to tell you what the conversation is back and forth. They think they're being quiet, they're not. Okay? Masman is old, his hearing isn't great. He's like stage whispering. It's not a whisper. But you hear them talking. And you hear just the tail end of this, you hear Masman say, "So you're telling me that not only will General Tao and his daughter Flower be there, but you're telling me that Nadia Halfborough's gonna be there as well from the capital? Oh, gods protect us." I don't think there's enough gold in this entire city to meet her standards.
Oh.
Very well, I'll talk with the decorators. Yes, thank you. Yes, Of course. He closes the door again and locks it. And he heads back around the table and he says, "The timing of this, as I said, is very poor. It puts a lot of my friends in a very precarious position, you understand?"
Yeah.
Who's Nadia?
But, Nadia? Oh, Nadia Halfborough? Oh, I
You
suppose...
are not being very quiet.
You
Oh,
were not at all.
I suppose none of you have been to the capital before. And he
Nah.
he looks around, his eyes linger longer on Burroughs, and then he looks at the rest of you and says, "Well, let's just say that Nadia Halfborough happens to be one of the most wealthy and influential people in the entire country."
Huh.
So has very high standards then. Probably.
Extremely high standards.
Great.
Oh. Okay.
That being said, if the shadowy person who's been committing these atrocious murders does decide to rear their ugly head, perhaps it would be beneficial if you tried to show up to the party as incognito as possible. I'll have my standard guards posted up around the room, but all of you would be able to mingle and listen for anything happening that would be untoward.
Yeah.
Not really one for big parties like that, but I can definitely try.
So what should I wear?
He
I
eyes
have a
all
really-
of you up and down, and he says, "I'm afraid there are some things even a headmaster wizard cannot help you with. I'm afraid you will all have to find something appropriate to the occasion."
I have a question, just really quick.
Yes.
Is polka dots appropriate for the occasion?
He looks at you and he says, "Would that make you more obvious or less obvious?"
Well, if you look at me now, am I more obvious or less
More
obvious?
Yes, you
Never
may want
said-
to tone down the number of colors, perhaps.
You may want to stick to black and white polka dots.
Maybe stick to, 5 colors or something.
Okay, I will try.
If any of you know anyone who's really good with fashion, maybe you should talk to them, because clearly, I don't think it's any of you. For the occasion!
Okay. Because some people say I'm the best dressed in the circus.
In the circus. In the
You say-
circus.
You say that.
Everyone say under her breath.
You say that, and he looks at you, he says, "All of a sudden, the pom-poms make a lot more sense."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He looks at all of you and suddenly gets more of a serious air on his face, and he says, "I don't think I have to tell you that these murders have greatly impacted the students at the college. It's very difficult for any of them to focus on their studies when there is a murderer prowling the streets."
Makes sense. I couldn't if there was a murderer prowling the streets. I'd be like, am I next? Oh no.
Yes, precisely. The information that the Peacekeeper has shared with me about this strange collection of murders, the fact that they're seemingly building to one final one, even though it is disquieting, there is a sort of certainty in it all, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If the pattern continues, then this should be the last one, if it happens at all.
You have a lot of confidence.
In all of you? Yes, but granted, I don't know you all very
Really?
well. My confidence mainly stems from the beheader of the Pirate King. No offense.
Well,
That is respect earned.
He's not the boasting type, but she's the closest thing to a hero this city has ever seen.
You better keep an eye on the paper here in the coming weeks.
yeah.
I feel like there's about to be a handful more.
Oh,
He shakes his head, and he says, like as he opens the door and sort of gestures for all of you to proceed out the door, he says,
I'll make sure that your invitations are printed up and sent to the construction site.
Thank you.
yes. Thank you.
So you guys head back out into the lobby, and you can see that the Peacekeeper is standing there, and she's having a conversation with Professor Spindle, who, the little goblin professor of cursed artifacts, is standing there with his arms behind his back, nodding his head in the affirmative to things that the Peacekeeper is talking about. They seem to be in some sort of conversation.
Okay. Melina looks around and then is just gonna go right up.
Okay. You walk up to them and you can hear that the Peacekeeper is talking about... She's talking about how much her forces are spread thin by the parade, by the construction site, by the party happening tomorrow. And she says something like, I'm sorry, Professor, but I don't have any more people I can spare looking for your cursed items, alright? Or I don't have the people anymore. I had a couple days ago, but now I'm afraid you're just gonna have to stick with you and your assistant over there, down in the basement where you do your work. And Professor Spindle, again, nods to the affirmative and says, Understood. Big request. Very big request. Still many items. Unaccounted for items.
Hey!
They both turn and look at you.
We just wanted to check with you before we go to the construction site.
The Peacekeeper says, Oh, yes, of course. I made sure to have the cots and the camping equipment all sent out there, so we should be all good to go for this evening.
I also have one question, just unrelated. Are you good at fashion?
The Peacekeeper, who I've probably described it before, but the best way I could describe it, she is still dressed. She is dressed like a pirate. Like,
Yep.
it is very clear that she is breaking every, clothing regulation there can be. And she eyes herself up and down, looks up and says, I wouldn't go taking fashion advice from me.
Okay. Do you know anybody that we could go to? Because we're going to a party!
It actually could be of critical need.
Spindle raises his hand like he's in a class.
Yes?
Yes, you.
You look for a person of fashion. Fashion good. Good fashion.
Yes. Yes.
Spindle knows. Your glowy friend. Glow friend? Down in basement? Good with fashion. Very good.
Zana?
Yes, Zana. Zana's fashion good.
Oh, well, we know
Uh-huh.
that.
Busy right now. Available tomorrow.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. That's
Zana helps
perfect.
Spindle pick out new jacket.
And it's very nice.
Spindle knows.
Yeah. You better, because you look
He
nice.
does he does like a little spin.
Oh my god.
Yes!
Oh, nice twirl.
What?
He looks great.
Wow.
Burroughs, you're thinking like at this moment where they're all like, "Oh, what are we gonna wear? We don't have anything." You're just like picturing your closet, and like everyone's like, "What are we gonna wear?" Like just like rows upon rows upon rows.
I hope that doesn't fit.
Well, yeah, well. You could work on that. You could get a professional Zana opinion. But Spindle says, "Again, sorry. Very busy. Very busy. Tracking down cursed items. Very hard work. Long day.
Yes.
Long day.
Long day.
Still missing many items. Very dangerous items."
Hey, Evren.
Hmm?
Don't you have a very dangerous item on you?
We don't know that it's dangerous, but yes, we have a magic item that we need to identify. If
Spindle
you could help
cocks
us with
his
that.
head and
she's
adjusts
gonna-
his... Yeah?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She'll take it out and show it to him.
He adjusts his pince nez and then sprints over to you, covering the distance. He immediately puts on a glove and says, "Put down on floor. On floor, quickly, please.
Okay, she'll do it.
Bad to touch with skin. Very bad. Don't know what is yet." And he squats down, and he picks up the medallion in his hands, and he turns it a little bit, letting the light catch through the gem that's being suspended in the middle. And he goes into one of his pockets in his new fancy jacket, and he pulls out a small field journal, and he starts flipping through the pages, and he slaps his finger down on one of the pages, and he spins the illustration around to your group. And right at the top of the page, you see the words, "Talisman of Vessel Filling."
Great.
Great.
Awesome. I was touching that with my
Nice.
bare hands. Great. Awesome. Okay.
And he says,
Oh, no.
"Where did you find? Been looking
was
for
in
this
a-
one all day. All day."
Apparently, a blacksmith found it in his, like, ash pile or something.
My, flew very far. Very, very far.
That's one of the reasons we wanted to like talk and check in with you guys.
Thank you for bringing. This one, more complicated. Not out and out malicious. Not malicious, necessarily. Dangerous. Very dangerous. Cannot sit in place too long without bringing things alive. Alive, they make.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
That
So
makes perfect
that-
sense now.
That's why the armor was alive. The blacksmith almost died?
You saved Torn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
good. Good. Very good. Worst possible item for him to get, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. We had to really. I mean, we took care of it, obviously, but
His luck is bad. Very bad. Shop full of vessels.
mhm.
This is why curse. This is why on Manifest Curse list.
Mhm.
Vessels come alive, whether like it or not. Not controllable.
Mm.
Brings almost anything in humanoid shape alive.
Mm.
Bad magic, wild magic, uncontrolled.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got it to you then, because I don't want to be holding on to that thing now. So,
Hands.
if
Show
Zana...
me. Show hands.
I'll show hands.
With his gloved hands, he grabs your hands and like flips them palm up, and he like looks very closely. He squints, and you're not positive, but as he adjusts his pince nez, you feel like there's some sort of a shimmer going on in like the lenses of his glasses, and he like adjusts them a little bit, and then he lets go of your hand and says, "Hand's fine. No damage. No damage. No curse."
And you're sure of that?
Very much. Very much. Talisman need more time to do real damage. Damage bad, but long time need.
Okay. I will take your word on that then, hopefully. Yeah. She just is kind of just doing this, like fidgeting with her hands now.
He starts back down towards the stairs to go down into his area, like his little basement study, and he turns back to your group and says, "Friend of Zana, and Zana, find other earring you found earlier."
Oh. What did they do? Exactly. I forget.
He grabs hold of his jacket and he lifts it up and he flares it and he says, "Shopping."
Oh. Okay.
Zana says very important work need be done. Goes shopping. Gets Spindle new jacket. Says necessary. Spindle believes. Zana convincing.
I trust Zana's judgment on this.
Zana say Spindle closet catastrophe.
We can't have a catastrophic wardrobe, can we?
That's true.
Spindle no curses. Zana no fashion. We'll give her time off tomorrow to help you.
Thank you.
And then he slams the door that leads to the basement. And the Peacekeeper's just standing there, just like mouth agape at what just transpired.
Okay.
Quite the energetic person, isn't he?
That's for sure.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised. The old fella hasn't had much to do. Most of his work has been research. He hasn't done a lot of field work. It's not like this city has been filled with cursed items always. She heads towards the front door, and she says, "You all can take care of whatever business you might have beforehand, but if you need me, I'll be at the construction site getting things ready. It should almost be done. But if there's anything else that you need to do before the end of the day, I suggest you do it. It's going to be a long night."
Alright, sounds good.
I have no doubt.
So at this, I will open it up to the group. If there is any NPC that you would like to visit, I mentioned it off camera, but this is the penultimate session. So this is just one other off-road for your group to do anything that you might want to. There's shops that you can go to. There's the temple, Blind Man's Bailey, Nwairast, Garrison, prison, literally anything. Or you can go straight to the construction site. Whatever the group wants to do.
Melina wants to go visit the prison.
Okay.
To talk to her brother.
Right.
I was gonna say the prison is the only place I could think of for the what's his name?
Burgoyne.
Burgoyne, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Burgoyne's in the prison, yeah.
Probably Burgoyne.
Okay.
And that probably not anybody.
Okay. Is your whole party in agreement then?
Yeah, that's fine.
That sounds good.
Okay. All right. In that case, let me quickly double check something. I just realized that I had an image for a specific NPC that now I'm gonna have to find for my own purposes. Off to the side should be... There we go. I just gotta remember where they are. Okay, here we go. Found it. So you guys go to the prison, and you guys have been there. Well, now Melina's been there twice. So when you guys walk through the door, the guard working behind the counter with the logbook sees your party just once and doesn't really think about it. She immediately slides you the logbook to sign in.
I sign in.
Okay. So
Guess
you
we're
sign in
regulars
the
now.
book, and as before, you guys are escorted down the winding staircase into the stomach of the prison. And on your way down the stairs, you would, you're noticing that... Actually, you know what? I'm going to have you guys roll for it. Why don't all of you roll... I don't want to have you guys roll perception again, but I might. Roll perception.
That's 23 for me.
22.
Dang.
19.
Dang.
14. Only a 14.
A mere 14. You guys are rolling very well. That's crazy. Good for you. You would notice that there are so few guards in here comparatively to the other times you guys have visited the prison. Based on the conversations that you were hearing outside of the jail with the Peacekeeper, it can be assumed that between the parade and now beefing up the security around the Mage College and the construction site and the party location in the Mage College, that there's just not as many people working shifts at the prison as there was. There's a lot more guards posted regularly between cells, but there are just fewer of them. And I would say even with a 14, you're not really thinking about it, but the rest of you would notice that there are substantially fewer guards than there were a couple days ago. And I'll say that you guys walk down for a couple minutes, and eventually you arrive at a familiar prison cell, Melina. And you have arrived at Bolston, the full orc power lifter, strong man, his cell. And he is, he's sleeping currently, just snoring so loudly.
Awesome. Melina just goes, "Hey! Hey!"
My goodness.
One random guard gives you like a confused look.
Hey!
He is
Wake up!
so asleep. So asleep.
Awesome.
Go ahead. Why don't you make a history check for me? Just Melina.
Okay. Well, guys, this isn't gonna go well. A nat 20, never mind.
Wow.
With a nat 20, you would recall that your time at the Karnak Carnival, you came to know that Bolston could sleep through just about anything. Like, he can sleep through practically anything. You saw that one time he fell asleep behind, like, similarly to where Eustace got knocked out, like, right by the cannon. Like, he fell asleep once just, like, leaning against it because he was tired one day. So you're gonna need some noise to wake this boy up.
Does anybody know how to make a lot of noise? Like any magic or whatever?
I can yell really loud.
Well, I don't think that's going to work.
Really? Well, then I'm out of
Yeah,
ideas.
he sleeps through everything. Maybe bang on the like pots and pans almost.
On the bars?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I take my fans and I just drag them across the bars.
Okay. I like that. Roll performance with advantage.
Slay.
I want to see how loud this is. Anyone can hop in and help if they want.
I can do it. I have a quarterstaff.
That's
Okay.
gonna be a 21.
Bang it
Oh my
on there.
gosh. Anyone who's helping make noise can roll performance checks.
Okay, see how this goes. Nope. 11.
Okay.
Not as loud.
That's 13.
Okay.
I was gonna cast minor illusion on our friend here because I can make a sound. So I was going to make a cannon noise next to his ear. Just
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
So I'll just cast that as a cantrip right next to him.
Just like a cannon noise.
Oh my goodness.
So here's how this would work.
You hear
Since
the
they're
pigs?
between the fan noises, all of you hooting and hollering at the bars and knocking metal against it and everything, and then all of a sudden the sound of a cannon erupting right next to his head, Bolston opens his eyes slowly and sits up and stretches.
Morning already?
Not quite.
He hears that and he turns and he looks and he just gets this real puppy dog look on his face. And he jumps out of bed and he runs up to the bars and he says,
Little sis!
Yeah, hi.
Is Bolston free yet?
You're gonna okay. So I had this whole plan. Okay, you're gonna be in here for maybe like one more day, and we're gonna prove that you're not the killer because we're gonna find the real killer, and then you'll be free. So one more day.
Bolston's still in timeout.
Hey, buddy. Just for now. I would also be really upset if I was put in timeout for something I didn't do, because that sucks.
Bolston crouches down and he tries to get eye level with Burroughs, and he, like, personal space, just zero sense, and just, like, very gently taps your forehead and then looks up at you, Melina, and says, Little sis has little friends.
Yeah, I do. They're helping me help you.
Will you be taking him to the cannon?
Unfortunately, not
Wow.
right now, no.
He
Unless
would
he really
fly
wants
good.
to.
He would fly
He would,
good
he
in cannon.
would. Yes,
You
I agree.
would-
He would.
You would die before I would move anywhere near that thing.
You haven't seen it. You don't know.
I can't say I
It's-
appreciate being treated like a sideshow.
Excuse you. First of all, I've been in the cannon before.
Immediately, both Melina and Bolston look at you, Burroughs, like genuinely offended, and are just like, and Bolston is just like,
Karnak Carnival, not sideshow. Is
They're
big show.
Actually, very
Exactly.
talented people there. Just so you know.
That's yeah. Like the one that she has a crush on.
Oh man.
So she might be a little biased.
I can't
this-
say I'm interested in arguing semantics with carnies, but I'll leave you to it.
Okay, first of all,
semantics.
don't
with
call me
carnies.
that ever again. Only we're allowed to say that.
Yeah, that might be their word, Burroughs.
Bolston looks at you, Marko, and similarly to what Rishka did, he just like immediately just like looks over at like your bicep, looks up at you and says,
You strong man?
I was for one day.
Only one? One day?
I was just filling in for a man who couldn't make it. Lifted up a tent though.
Who will you fill in for?
He was some half-orc gentleman, I believe.
Oh. What his name? Maybe I know him. I know all strongmen.
I don't remember, if I'm being honest. I was a little preoccupied with investigation.
Oh. Which carnival?
The Karnak.
Oh. I'm the strongman from Karnak.
Oh.
Was there another strongman you fill in for?
No, it was you.
Oh. You fill in for me.
Yes.
Oh, indeed.
How you do?
It was fun.
You not ruin Bolston reputation.
I think if anything, I enhanced the legend. Gave your audience something to look forward to when you return.
Bolston gets like a concerned look on his face, and he looks over at you, Melina, and he crouches down and in like a very not whisper says,
Big man better than Bolston at strongman?
Never. Never, never.
Oh, good.
and he stands back up and he says,
When Bolston get out of timeout, Bolston would love to see you lift.
I'm sure. What do you say? Maybe you both can lift, like...
If there's time, I'd love to assist again. Together we could probably lift up a manor or something.
Wow. That's ambitious.
Probably.
Bolston looks at you, Melina, and says,
Can you write down that idea for Bolston?
I takes out something to write on.
Bolston wants to lift house.
I am writing that down. We're gonna lift a house.
Bolston want to throw house.
Okay.
Oh, yes! This is brilliant. They're gonna love it.
he's just got like a giddy look of excitement like a child as he's just like pacing back and forth, thinking about how he would go about lifting and throwing a house.
Insanity.
We'll be back. Just time out for one more day. I hate it as much as you do. But we'll get you out. You have nothing to worry about.
He looks over at you, Melina, looks at your group, and sort of does that thing that little kids do where they pretend to kick something.
He says, Okay.
And yeah, he just goes back to his bed and just sits down and eases back onto the bed and puts his arms behind his head and closes his eyes again.
Good night. And I'm gonna walk with everybody else.
Okay. A little further down, you know that Burgoyne's cell is in a particularly low part of the dungeon. It's not super far from where Bolston is. And as you approach the cell, you see that there is a guard dressed in purple robes who has a large tome open in front of them, and they appear to be citing some sort of incantation. And a sort of bright orange sigil in a circular pattern in these sort of whirling shapes appears over the front of the bars and at the back far wall and sort of spins around for a moment and then slowly fades. And this person casting this spell is sort of startled as they see you approach, and they close the book and they walk past you, sort of looking quizzically. But then after they spot you, Melina, the look kind of disappears where they're like, okay, I've seen them before. And they just walk past you, just like business as usual. And in the cell itself, Burgoyne is writing at a desk in the back of the room, but he doesn't see you yet. Doesn't know that you're there.
What should we tell him? Just what that alchemy is about to have an even worse reputation than it already has?
Ah.
I feel like we owe him something, though.
I have no idea.
Well, here goes. Excuse me, sir. We're back.
Burgoyne's head tilts slightly to the side, and then he turns all the way around in his chair. He looks at you, and a smile slowly appears on his face, and he stands up and he walks over, and he says, "Well, what brings you all the way back down here again so soon?" Looking again at Melina.
Well, no card games this time, unfortunately, as much as I would like that.
Oh, just as well. I'd hate to completely annihilate all of you young whippersnappers at a game of cards. And he smiles.
Right. Look,
Right.
As you probably know, we are conducting a sort of investigation, and looks like it might be coming to a close very soon. We'll be attending some sort of party, a shindig of where all many alchemists in the region are going to be gathered together.
Oh, yes, the fundraiser, of course, yes. So they're actually going to have the new wing ready on time. I feel bad for those workers. They must be working them awfully hard to get it done that soon.
Yeah. Well, we've seen the progress, and we'll actually be staying there too.
Where?
This construction area.
At this, he starts laughing a little bit, and he sort of rears back, and he says, "I apologize. The imagery is quite funny, you must admit."
A bit. May not be the most comfortable night's sleep we ever get, but it's necessary for our goal here. But I guess I just felt like I owed you yet another thank you in case things end up worse than they started.
I see. Well, thank you for informing me of what's going on in the wider world. I do admit it is nice, seeing as how I couldn't make it out today to see the parade, to have some sort of an idea of what's taking place in this city of ours. So I assume that you intend to spend the night at the construction site because you assume that that is where the final murder will take place?
We certainly can't rule it out.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Few professors from the college have told me that they haven't poured the floor yet. If you were going to try and conceal a body, I suppose that's where you'd do it. Grisly thing, don't you think?
Yeah.
You say that the party's going to be attended by my alchemical brothers and sisters?
Yeah, and a really famous one. Does anybody remember that name? Because I do not.
Nadia? Is that the one?
Nadia! Yeah.
Ugh.
You good, Burroughs? Look at him.
A more unpleasant woman you'll ever meet.
No,
Oh,
she didn't sound very pleasant from the conversation.
she
But-
sounded kind of like, I don't know, but they said she has high standards, and that's never a good sign.
She doesn't have high standards. She likes to complain.
Oh,
Yeah,
even
that's
better.
also not a good sign.
Burroughs, roll me a perception check with advantage.
Wow, okay, nat 20. We'll take it.
Nice.
Nat 20.
What is going on tonight?
You would immediately clock that there's an expression on Burgoyne's face that is unmistakable. And the look that's on his face is someone. It's like when you have that sensation when you're watching a movie and you're like, I feel like I know the face of that actor. I've seen that face before, but I don't remember what context I've seen it. And then hours later, all of a sudden it comes to you. And that look of recognition. And it's only after you say that line about she just likes to complain. And you see that Burgoyne is just staring at you. And there's this knowing look that spreads across his face. And then just ever so slightly, the slightest smile at the corner of his mouth. So slight it doesn't reach the eyes. And he closes his eyes, looks at you again, and gives you like the tiniest nod. And he says, well, most everyone in Evren has at least heard of Nadia Halfburrow before. She's only one of the most wealthy people in the entire kingdom. Their family's very powerful, very influential. Her family, all of them, quite of a noble bearing to them.
Yes, I work for her son.
Does Nadia have a son that I'm not aware of? I know that in their family line there's been a bit of a confusion. Missing persons, people dying tragically, that sort of thing. But I did feel like I heard something about one of the Halfburrow clan arriving in Evren to start going to school. And you are an assistant to this individual?
Burroughs will sort of narrow his eyes at this line of questioning and nod.
Well, that is truly impressive. It's a very prestigious responsibility. Now tell me, how is Edmund doing? I heard that he'd come down with some sort of an illness.
Correct. He's a little under the weather at the moment.
I see. Must be very busy for you going to all of his classes.
Well, I'm nothing if not resourceful.
It was Nadia's brother, was it not? Alistair, I believe. He was the one who died of that mysterious illness. That's all coming back to me now. Mystery upon mysteries.
Is there a point you're trying to make with this line of comments, or...
Oh, well, it makes sense that the city would be all in a tizzy about their arrival. Any one of the Halfburrow clan showing up would be shocking. I mean, think about it, you know? All of that rumor, all of that suspicion. What with Alistair dying mysteriously, and then, poor Maria, his wife, her disappearance. Why, the whole family is rife with contention and mystery. It must be very exciting for you to work for such a family.
It's certainly been eventful.
He turns and looks to your group, sort of zooming back away from talking to Edmund, and he looks at all of you and says, "Well, I wish you all the best of luck tomorrow. It sounds like you have your work cut out for you."
Well,
It'll
thanks.
be yeah.
A
We're
word
definitely
of
gonna figure it out.
a word of advice. This
Okay.
mysterious individual who's been perpetrating these crimes. Thus far, the only evidence that has been left at the scenes of the crime, as given and shown to me by the Peacekeeper and the Recollector when they came seeking my advice, anyone who marks scenes of a crime that way is doing so very much out of intention. And I mean that to say the murders themselves are merely a channel as a means to a message. If you can find out what that message is, that might help you.
Well, we hope to put a stop to everything first and foremost, but
Well, I wish you the best of luck. This murderer has been quite the slippery individual so far.
very much appreciate.
But based upon you and your friends, I wager you'll give them a run for their money.
Definitely gonna try.
He looks sort of wistful, and he stares down at the ground. And he looks back up, and you can see that there are tears welling in his eyes a little bit. And he wipes them, and he says, "I just wish my dear wife were alive to see days where alchemy was no longer an illegal activity and a respected research opportunity."
Yeah. That's part of why I wanted to come visit. Now, this means a lot to you.
I dedicated my life to alchemy, as did my dear one. So I suppose I must take some solace in the fact that finally it's being recognized. I can only hope that those people working at the Mage College in this new alchemy wing of the school do honest by this noble profession.
Can only hope, yeah.
How was it? The parade, I mean.
Nice.
It was a parade, yeah.
What we saw of it, yeah.
I was only able to see, or rather, hear, some of it once it got far enough away. It seemed like quite the procession. The banners, it was a military parade, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
Well, do tell, what was it in celebration of?
Mm.
The sheepishly just says like the butcher.
He raises an eyebrow and says, "Oh, you mean Thracius Tau, of course. The Queen's right hand. Before her passing, of course.
Yeah. Him.
Strange for a military man of his stature to suddenly be rubbing shoulders with the upper crust of society, but I suppose he's earned it.
Yeah, he has.
He must be happy that his daughter won't have to take the same path of the military in order to receive status like he did. Funny thing, no one even knew he had a daughter. Very private man.
I actually, did know that. She seems sweet.
Oh, yes, sorry. My mind drifts. There was a time when he would make public appearances and no one knew anything about any sort of family or anything of the sort. And then one day, in Evren,
must have been at the Temple of Unification, the first time that she was witnessed by the citizens of Evren. We were all very confused when we heard about it. He didn't exactly seem the fathering sort.
Well, it's kind of a surprise to me, too.
Oh, that would have been going on 30 years back now. Around the time the last of the, rebellious villages were punished, shall we say. Perhaps combat softened him a bit.
Maybe.
Was there anything else that you needed from me to help in your
Mm-mm.
investigation?
Nothing for me, no.
No more grisly drawings for me to peruse?
Not today, fortunately.
All right. Well, I best be getting back to my window. I play a little game sometimes, and I see how many different kinds of birds I can spot in one day. Wouldn't want to miss one.
Be sure to ask you about it soon enough.
And he turns his back to your group and heads over to the window and just puts his hands behind his back and is just looking at the sky.
Well, we should probably head over to the construction site.
Yeah, I don't want to keep him waiting.
Okay. If your party is in agreement, I will go ahead and fast track you guys to the construction site. By the time you guys will be getting there, after getting all the way out of the prison and, signing the book out and everything, it is getting towards evening time, so I'll just take you guys straight to the construction site. So, here on your screens, put this together. This is kind of what you guys explored earlier that day. At the top of the day when you made your investigations, Burroughs went down that ramp into the pit where the floor hasn't been filled in yet and did a little bit of digging. You all did a little bit of digging. And it's in that back left corner just off screen where you would have found the torn pocket on the rebar and everything. And when you guys arrive, you can see that the Peacekeeper has a nice little fire going nearby. There's some supplies littered around and some bedrolls on the ground. And you can see that there are guards walking in patrols just on the outside of this new building. Because again, since the walls aren't done yet, you can just see guards on the outside of the building just circling.
Everybody's taking it very seriously. Good.
Ugh,
Yeah,
I'm
that's good.
I'm so glad to be out of that damn prison.
Yeah?
That Burgoyne fella's so unpleasant to talk to.
Mm.
I always thought the opposite. He seemed to have you a little rattled, though. Are you okay?
Yeah.
He spoke awfully rude about my previous employer. Yes, employer is the word.
Can't help but say I'm a little curious on what the situation is there.
That's not important. What is important is the fact that that man speaks in nothing but coded words. It's frustrating.
I mean, I've been told a number of times that I'm a bit naive, but he really seems like a pleasant guy.
You spend enough time around people who they speak one thing and mean another.
I must have missed that then. I'm sorry if he bothered you at all.
The
What are you
Peacekeeper,
apologizing for?
the Peacekeeper who's sitting on like a log, there's like logs rolled around. She's like roasting some meat over the fire, and her eyes are just darting back and forth between Marko and Burroughs, just like
Perfect.
catching bits and pieces of this. But she's just like, she wasn't paying attention before, but now she's just like looking at you guys awkwardly.
You're the exact woman I should talk to. You agree that Burgoyne fella is unpleasant to speak to.
She looks at you and she smiles, and she looks down, and she says, "It is a bit hard to talk to him.
but maybe not for the same reason you find it hard to talk to him. I've always been a bit unnerved by how much that man knows, even locked away in his prison cell. It's an odd thing, but there's still a strange power dynamic between him and the people who show up. He's still ever the professor in their minds. Everyone venerates him. They look up to him. That's what it is. They're able to look past one of the most appalling crimes I'd ever heard about. Now, granted, he's given an explanation as to why he did it, but I don't know. There's something about the way the academics treat him. It's almost as if they're willing to completely look past that, since it was done for a good reason or whatever. They act like it didn't happen. It doesn't hinder them from asking him questions about research at all. That never sat right with me. It's almost like some of the people from that school just like using Burgoyne.
Well, they say morality and magic don't always mix. And I will admit you've explained my issues with him better than I could.
Oh, no doubt about it. That man's mind is... it's like a locked chest with weasels in it. I wouldn't want to go messing around in there. He's a good-natured guy, but I don't think I ever want to see him out of that cell.
Well, there you have it. You won't listen to me, at least listen to her about that Burgoyne fellow.
Something to think about for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Look, let me try to phrase it just a little bit differently, alright? It all has to do with power. You take a good person, a moral person, a kind person, you give them unlimited power, unlimited resources, unlimited research, all of a sudden that person doesn't become so good anymore. That's all I'm saying. I think that being locked up is probably the best thing that could have happened to somebody like Burgoyne. Someone that has his particular brand of obsessions.
I apologize. I got a bit ahead of myself there. We have a job to do.
She gestures to the guards roaming around the construction site. She says,
We'll take shifts. Right now, my regular soldiers have the watch, and after a little while, we'll swap with them, filter some people in and out over the course of the night, we'll all get some rest, and we'll all take watch. Right now, they've got it covered. But in the meantime, why don't you all pull up a log and get some victuals in you?
Sounds good to me.
there's a beat where she's waiting for someone else to speak. And she's looking around. And she says, "Alright, fine. I'll start. It goes like this. Long, long ago, there was a day when the sun and the moon, who are siblings, of course you know, met together up in the sky. Hadn't happened for probably 100 years. And the sun, of course, he's all boasting about, I'm so great and I'm so powerful and I'm so bright and this and that. And you know, the boasting just got a little bit too much for the moon. And finally she told her brother, she said, I will wager you that I would be able to stop everyone from talking about you. Just give me 1 day, 1 hour, just a few minutes, and I could make everyone else forget that you even exist." Now the son, of course, full of pride, he didn't believe her. And he started spouting off this and that, saying that she was insane, that there was no possible way, that she was so much smaller, so much more insignificant than he was. There was no possible way it could happen. And then one day, she found a place right between the sun and our planet. Now, the sun didn't know what was happening, because the moon had her back to him. But she looked down on our world and she saw all the people talking about her and how great and powerful she was, how beautiful she was. And the sun, again, he didn't know what was happening. And he was bragging and he was boasting, and it turns out the moon was right. In just a few minutes, for just a few moments, she made everyone forget about him.
For a moment, she was the most important thing. And you know what made her so powerful? She was closer to us than the sun could ever be. And that's how the first eclipse happened.
Ooh.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Well, of course, anyone with a basic knowledge of astronomy knows that story.
Oh,
You know, Burroughs will look around like in for affirmation from the rest of the.
Marco's like itching his neck, but trying to pay attention.
I think everyone's just shaking her head. Like, oh, okay.
The Peacekeeper, with no derision on her face whatsoever, she smiles and sort of laughs to herself and says, "Oh yeah, that one's an oldie but a goodie. You know, when I was out on the sea, we would tell stories like this all the time."
Must have been fun. Good way to pass the time.
Oh, it was an excellent way to pass the time. Oh. Now, granted, you know, when I was undercover, I had to be very careful about what kinds of stories I told, you know. Couldn't give anything away, anything that would make it obvious where I was from.
Mm-hmm.
But I did learn a lot of stories from my crew that I was sailing with. It's the only thing that survived from most of them.
Hmm.
You know, Lionel, he spoke very highly of all of you. Said that you were heroes with hearts of gold. I mean, you know Lionel, he knows how to spread it on thick. Told me that we'd get on like thieves, said we'd be in good company with each other. He said, "I think it's time I send them into the presence of someone who actually deserves their respect," was how he put it.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't think you thought that highly of us, but
I should hope he thinks highly of you. Otherwise, I'd hate him for sending you here.
right.
Well, tomorrow's the big day. Oh, before I forget, she turns around and out of her pocket, she pulls out 4 invitations and fans them out and hands them over to you, Evren, to pass around.
Yeah, I'll take one and pass the others around. Don't lose these. And she just kind of looks over at Melina specifically after that.
I will not.
Just saying.
Peacekeeper looks over her shoulder into the deep pit of the floor that has not been filled in. And she says, "So long as we've got people posted here, this place is not going to be used for its intended purpose. Not on my watch."
Everything is gonna be fine.
We got this. Duh.
I wish I had your confidence.
What are you saying, Master Burroughs? You're saying after all the pageantry and the parade today, that doesn't inspire you with patriotism? She says that with like an obvious bit of sarcasm thrown in there.
I'm not a fan of empty pageantry.
Oh, neither am I. That's why I don't think I'll stick around Ivray for too many more years longer. I don't want to get to a point in my military career where I can't escape. Don't want to end up like old General Tao out there.
You saw how happy he was at the head of the parade, didn't you?
Oh, you thought that was him happy? No, he hates that thing. More than probably anyone else. The pageantry, the flags, all of it. I think us military types understand it best. Everyone else is there to cheer and shout and wear their fineries, but at the end of the day, someone like me, someone like Tao, all we can think about is war on those days. People we've lost. Feeling like you don't deserve the honors given to you. If it was a parade honoring the dead, I'd go to that. But all that celebration for someone still drawing breath, it seems a mite odd. And unless anyone has anything else that they want to say to the Peacekeeper, before we end this session and go through the night progression and end with an epilogue. Does anybody have anything else?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Don't believe so.
Okay. Burroughs?
Let us begin the finale, the beginning of the
Okay.
end.
The beginning of the end, indeed. So, with that, I will end with this epilogue. As your party sits around a fire in a construction site, listening to stories told by an old pirate, the shadows lingering behind each of you keep on drawing your periphery, looking for someone crouching in the dark. And with each hour of the night, as the night watches change, your senses are heightened to every noise and every smell and every sight possible, intaking everything, looking for anything malevolent. And even though dawn finally breaks, you know in your hearts that something big is going to happen. And that is where we will end.